rage is sacred, right? So when I'm able to transmute my anger into art and express it, that is felt by everybody. That is seen, that is healing, that is part of my process. That's part of me, you know? It's like just being alive is a protest to that shit, you know?
The first time I seen my work on a runway, I think it was just like a really eye-opening moment for me because yes, I focused on clothing design, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do, like if this was where I wanted to go. And so that show and everybody there was just kind of like reassuring, like these are the spaces that I want to be in, but also that I feel the need to be in.
All right, we just got here to Longview and we're gonna shoot a Stampede promo shoot. We have our models, Courtney, Chandra, Sarah, and it's an awesome collaboration with Threads by Thea, and yeah, excited. All right, go.
All types of artistic disciplines are making noise in Calgary, and lately, a new generation of designers are rising up from the underground. These designers are bold, unabashed, and ready to enter and flip the old world of fashion, shifting the ideas, conversations, and focus of contemporary fashion in Canada. Today, we enter the universe of two Calgary-based Indigenous designers who are lighting up runways across the world, and I get to showcase a piece right now. Thea, thank you for being here with me on Living a Creative Life. For our viewers, let us know what your name is, what you do, and what this setup is. What are you gonna get me to do today?
Yeah, so I'm Thea. I'm the designer behind Threads by Thea. Apart from being a fashion designer, I'm also a sewing teacher, instructor. I hold my own sewing workshops in my community, Ganawage Mohawk territory. So today I'm gonna walk you through how to make your own lined tote bag. Originally, I'm from Ganawage Mohawk territory. I moved to Calgary in 2018 to go to ACAD, which is now AU Arts.
Right, okay.
Sewing was always something I was interested in. My mom sewed. She sewed all my Halloween costumes for me when I was a kid, like even into high school. And it was something I was always curious about, but I was always afraid to try. When the pandemic came and I needed something to do from home, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into sewing. Bought a machine on Kijiji for like 60 bucks. Yeah, I just like jumped into it.
I'm Alex Manitopyes. My pronouns are they, them. So I've been laser cutting fashion accessories since about 2018, 2019. I went to a program at SACRD called New Media Production and Design. That's where I learned how to like graphic design, work in Illustrator, web design, so a little bit of e-commerce, photography, video. So like, you know, all the multimedia that I need to run a business and, you know, to make the designs. And then when I was graduating, I needed to do an internship. So I did it with Make Fashion. They would have these fashion shows annually, and they would have a bunch of different like types of makers and designers come and make different types of garments, infuse tech into it. And then I was mentored by Shannon and Maria from there, where I learned how to laser cut, and you know, I had the skills to make the earrings, and it was just like, it was so cool because like now I had this unleashed creativity that I was able to tap into and try different designs. And you know, from like a two-spirit, non-binary, trans-mass perspective, I bring like some unique designs that, you know, a lot of cis-het people don't really, you know, tap into, because like if you look at the Indigenous fashion community, there is a lot of cis-het representation, right? So you got like either straight men making streetwear, straight women making gowns, right? And there's not really in between. And now there's like more, you know, two-spirit people coming and mixing it up and offering like these totally different styles and designs that weren't offered before.
Particularly as an Indigenous designer, I think we're in like this Renaissance movement where we're all kind of emerging into this contemporary space. People have just seen us as traditional styled people for so long.
Like ribbon skirts.
Yeah.
Like the outfits that they wear, regalia.
Yeah.
Like a regalia. Indigenous people, people, Inuit people, Métis people are more than a powwow.
We're more than just like that aspect that I guess the whole country predominantly like only sees us one way. And so to step into these contemporary spaces as a designer is like a really big deal for me, which is why I, for the most part, like make what I want to see. I have a really contemporary take on traditional elements, particularly from my culture. So this is a crop ribbon shirt that I made. Very non-traditional looking at first. I have ribbons laid along the edge of the collar, along the sleeve, and then 2 coming down the back. Kind of resembles the way you lay your ribbons on a ribbon skirt, just straight across the pattern piece. But here I did 2 on each piece to represent the 2-row wampum belt.
So I feel like I'm like the architect of like fashion accessories. I have to go and make a plan, make a template, make a design in Illustrator, and then make sure all of that is gonna cut out, you know, in a way that looks presentable and all the pieces are there. Make sure, you know, my like holes are in the right place so it doesn't break, you know, the flexibility of it. Then I have to take that to a laser cutter and then come up with a whole nother methodical plan of how to cut that. And then piecing it together, like the inlays that I have can get very complicated.
And now here we go. That feels like 7/8.
Nope, you're good. Okay. You're on the money.
Somebody might hire me to sew something.
Vardignan.
Oh, this is so satisfying. Mine has never done this.
This way a little bit. Yeah. Right here. You want the birds right here.
I'm wondering, SACRD THNDR, like that is one kind of tea name. I love it. And for those who don't know, can you give us a little bit of information on why your name is so tea?
So my last name, Manitopyes, means sacred thunderbird. So back in the day when like Indian agents were documenting a lot of the indigenous people and their names, traditionally it was Manitopyes. And then it got like changed in translation to Manitopyes. Now I have this like strong urge and reclamation to like brand my last name. There's a lot of power in our lineage with medicine people and that last name. So I'm just like, it's like honoring and calling in my ancestors and like my family's spirit name pretty much.
Thank you. That's the back there. And what shoes do you have?
I have other ones I can show you.
Yeah. Ooh. This was at Native Fashion Week Santa Fe. So basket weaving, I'm incorporating what would mimic a piece of a strap in a basket weave, and I'm just weaving it through the garment in different ways, different areas.
Love it on the shoulder.
Yes, so like a very contemporary interpretation.
And this right here almost like mimics.
It's a zip up too.
Do you create anything that you feel like is specifically the SACRD THNDR? Do you have a unique piece?
So I got a few unique pieces. Like I came out, my first collection on my website was like a star blanket, bolo tie, which was featured in Vogue like a couple months after that. My family is from Fort Capel area. That's like northeast of Regina. They call that Treaty 4 area. And I would go back, you know, during the summers, live there, and we would hit up different lakes and different, I guess, like reserves. And there was one called Star Blanket. There was a lot of like that iconography of the Star Blanket there. So that was like pretty predominant growing up.
Alex, I need you to tell me a little bit about these earrings. They are glorious.
So yeah, these are the massive, jacked up, Runway Star Blanket drip. These are meant for fashion films, fashion shows, just so like everyone in the audience could see the design scaled up.
I love it. All I heard is you made them giant size
Yeah.
to match me. To match me. Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like these are earrings for goddess treatment,
Yep.
for integrity, for care, and yes. Oh!
Let me switch the bracelet. So this is one of my favorite pieces from the Santa Fe collection. I also just really love making jumpsuits. The pockets we're seeing is like a representation of traditional basket weaving. This one is just a plain weave. And then I incorporated these accessories, which are just button-on beaded pieces. And again, basket weaving, I'm just weaving these strips back into the fabric, which, coming from a background where I wanted to be a textile weaver, kind of speaks to this idea of like reweaving a woven fabric.
Tell me a little bit about these earrings, what they mean to you.
Yeah, so these specific earrings were on the runway in Santa Fe, and they're called Ancestors. And what I used, I incorporated the color ochre, because we use that color a lot in our ceremonies, and it's used as a paint as for protection. That's like what comes with colonization, is like that fear of death and fear of like skulls and stuff like that, because they're always trying to like take away power from powerful things. For this, we used different newspaper clippings about residential schools and like the horrors of residential schools. So in the front here, this was a powerful message, searching for ways to heal. It's kind of like the purpose of creating this too, you know. A lot of the times, these students were given like different names. If they had traditional names, they were given kind of like white names like George or Jill, not really the names that they entered these schools with. And sometimes there was just like, they were just numbered in death records.
I want to pull this one. So same material.
This one is calling my name.
Yes. So this is, most people would call it a corset.
Okay.
It's technically, the pattern is inspired by a stays, which would be a bra like back in the 1800s.
Okay.
The center panel, and so this center panel represents a corn washing basket because the weave goes on an angle, so it's you would consider a twill weave in textile weaving.
And what would you use a corn basket weave for?
Corn washing. Yeah.
Okay. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Lean forward so they hang.
What did it feel like the first time you saw one of your pieces walking down the runway with people that you maybe thought, I never thought that I would be in this place?
For real. So like I said, I never aspired to be a fashion designer. So the way that, you know, this path opened up for me has been really unique and affirming. Oftentimes you got to ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? And there's always going to be signs and messages there. And I feel like I've just always, you know, listening to those signs and listening to my ancestors, listening to my higher self. You know, when I go into my spiritual space, I pick up on these signals, you know? So I'm rolling with it, and it seems to be green lit and positive, and
if it's not, they're going to tell you. If not a whisper, they will tell you. Ooh!
Yeah, so that's your toe.
See?
That's my tote. And here is my tote bag.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
If I can do this, I can guarantee you that anybody can. 100%
Yes.
graduates from your class.
Yes.
I love it.